Welcome back everyone, it's Charlie. This will be my full Fallout Season 2 Episode 1 video. There were a whole bunch of Easter eggs and WTF moments, so we'll break it all down. If you're brand new to the channel, I will be doing episode videos for the entire season. Everybody grab your Pip-Boys, don't be like me, don't forget to charge it before you actually need to start using it. Recently, the Fallout people also invited me to an event and gave me a whole bunch of merch that I'm going to be giving away in my episode videos, so I'll explain that more at the end of this video, but I do have a whole bunch of swag to give away. The episode title was The Innovator, a reference to Mr. House, played by Justin Theroux, the real version of Mr. House. His full name is Robert Edwin House. He is the ruler of New Vegas in the Mojave Wasteland. Prior to the Great War, he was the founder and CEO of Robco Industries, who winds up being the main antagonist of the Fallout New Vegas game, which they're basing Season 2 on, which is also a callback to that as well. It's the second game in the Fallout mainline series. This is the second season. So he is the overarching antagonist for the season, not Hank. Hank is more like the Darth Vader to Mr. House's Emperor. He's meant to be a parody of Howard Hughes, especially with the way he winds up living in his casino. Howard Hughes spent the last part of his life living as a recluse in the penthouse of his casino. During Season 1 and the beginning of Season 2, you see him use a fake Mr. House as the actual face of the company so that he can maintain his anonymity in public, but Vault-Tec, the heads of the other companies, know the truth about the fake Mr. House. There are a couple points where you see Cooper's wife looking up at him, both in Season 1 and Season 2, in his booth looking down on the meeting, meant to show you how he was one of the chief architects of the Great War in the apocalypse and the bombs themselves. Just to explain where this all fits in the timeline too with the games, so the show is meant to be a sequel to Fallout 4, so all the games are meant to be canon to the show, but Todd Howard has said in the past that this isn't going to give a definitive canon ending to Fallout New Vegas, because during the video game, there were a couple different types of ending, both with him surviving or dying based on what you did during the game. My early theory, just based on the way they end the episode, because Hank is trying to be his loyal lackey and get a promotion from him, basically work for Mr. House, I think at a certain point Mr. House will contact him back, but not in the way that he expects. I think the idea they're setting up here, especially with the beginning of the episode, in the talk about obsolescence in robots, is that Mr. House will upload his consciousness into a computer at some point. That might be the way they reveal that he survives the events of the Fallout New Vegas video game. The actual opening scene opens as if you're a person in the wasteland watching the episodes through the monitor of a Securitron robot, one of Mr. House's robots that patrol New Vegas. It is super meta. You can let me know in the comments who you think is actually watching the episode. Who are you meant to be? Which person's perspective are we taking? Who is this person that's actually watching these episodes? Almost a little bit of a fourth wall break. The opening segment title is The Man Who Knew, which is another reference to Mr. House because he knew that the Great War was going to happen because he himself pressed the button to drop the bombs. But the city we're in at the beginning here is meant to be Los Angeles before the apocalypse. This is the Santa Monica Pier. I go there all the time. There's this big strike happening against Robco in the streets with them trashing a whole bunch of the robots that we saw during Season 1. You could also kind of look at this as very timely too, because of the state of AI and the way people view it negatively coming for their jobs, people being replaced by machines, and that kind of lends itself to Mr. House's speech here about how humans are becoming obsolete, which is also, I think, confirmation or soft confirmation that he's probably going to upload his consciousness to a robot or robots, multiple. Right after this, he literally tries to turn these people, these guinea pigs, into meat robots with the mind control chips. My other theory here too is that he was trying to get these chips to work so that he could use them to stop the strike as well. It was just a clever way to both experiment on something for larger reasons, but also to stop the strike on a smaller scale.
Allow me to put this on the back of your neck.
During these very messed up scenes where you see him messing with these people, they also want to let you know that he personally has no hate in his heart. He just views everything as this grand science experiment. It's all about progress, curiosity. He's meant to be a little bit more like the villain from Alien Earth, someone who had crazy, infinite money and crazy genius, but was just very irresponsible, didn't care about actual people that much. He's a little bit like a more diabolical version of Tony Stark Iron Man, like the worst version of Tony Stark, who Stan Lee also did based on Howard Hughes. They use the crazy WTF reveal with the mind-controlled chips and the popping of the head to set up the reveal at the end of the episode with Hank taking over the project, trying to complete it for Mr. House to prove his loyalty to him over Vault-Tec. And also the idea that one of the main characters might get chipped and eventually be able to fight it. You can let me know which good character or which main character you think is going to get chipped with one of these this season. Maybe the Ghoul, probably Lucy, and maybe even Hank himself. Wouldn't that be the most ironic takedown for him, the most ironic comeuppance? They set him up at the end of the episode as this lackey bootlicker sucking up to House. What if by the end of the season, Mr. House chips Hank and he winds up becoming Mr. House's meat puppet? Then there's a time jump to present day to show you what Lucy and the Ghoul have been doing on their journey to New Vegas, chasing her father down, and this whole scene takes place at a big game location from Fallout New Vegas. It's Novac, which is why the camera lingers on the broken sign here that spells out Novac, as in no vacancy. They're at the Dino Delight Motel. The dinosaur's name is Dinky the T-Rex. The faction here, the Great Khans, are also from that New Vegas game. We also see that Lucy has dog meat with her. He's traveling with them. I don't know if it's the same dog meat from the games or if it's meant to be, because the timeline is kind of wonky. Maybe the original game version of dog meat has died, and this dog is also just coincidentally named dog meat. When the Ghoul mentions Dala, she is also from the Fallout New Vegas game. There are a lot of game Easter eggs throughout this entire episode. It'll be like this all season long, I'm sure. But the whole scene here, like this whole first part of the episode with them, is meant to give you a vibe of what their relationship is like at this point in the story. They're currently very morally diametrically opposed over their goals in their methodology. Lucy still wants to save her father, Hank. She doesn't want to kill anybody for any reason. The Ghoul points out why this is a terrible plan. But over the course of the season, both are meant to influence each other so that the Ghoul chills out a little bit more and Lucy becomes more morally gray and probably willing to kill a little bit more when it's necessary. There are a number of scenes where the Ghoul sets up Mr. House reveals by telling Lucy how New Vegas survived intact because of his missile system, destroyed the bombs before they could affect it, and the reason why the missile system didn't defend the rest of the world, the United States, is because they didn't want to, because he was the person who pushed the button, like this was this grand plan that they orchestrated. You have to remember at this point, Lucy doesn't really know about the conspiracy that Vault-Tec actually orchestrated things. Mr. House orchestrated the Great War. She still thinks that it was some other foreign entity, which they also use all those scenes in Vault 24 for as well with the mind control chips. Like, oh wow, these were Americans that were turned into commies. The call was coming from inside the room the whole time. She's going to have a number of moments like that this season. Like, are we the baddies? Are we the bad guys here? Are we the ones that dropped the bombs? Kind of, yes. When Lucy asks why her father would go to New Vegas, it's all this set at the end of the episode where they reveal that he had been secretly loyal to Mr. House this whole time. Even before the apocalypse, the Great War, he probably sensed that Mr. House was going to be the most powerful person and come out on top of everything and wanted to basically bootlick, suck up to him, and trying to get a promotion out of it. That's meant to be the hilarious payoff at the end of the episode. He's doing all these evil things just because he wants a promotion. The absolute worst kind of sycophant with the most punchable face ever. But if it wasn't clear, I don't think that Mr. House ever cared about Hank. You know, if he's alive in present day, also does not care about Hank and whatever he does. Hank is just another tool to Mr. House to use in pursuit of his goals to advance the human race.
Well, let's get to it.
A lot of this is also to set up his speech at the end of the episode too, where he's basically back on the clock working for Vault-Tec like he used to before the bombs dropped. They make it seem like he treated the period where he was stuck in Vault 33, just doing his own thing, trying to help the Vault survive until they made it out, and then at that point, then he would officially start working for Vault-Tec again, but really he was kind of serving Vault-Tec's interests anyway on a low level this whole time. We get another flashback to that final meeting where Cooper was snooping on the Vault-Tec meeting where they clarify the plan to drop the bombs and reinforce the idea of the real Mr. House calling the shots. Then revealing that Cooper and his family were living in a Vault-Tec-owned part of town. The reason why the employee smiles at him is because he recognizes him from the commercials in the billboard literally right behind him. This military craft is also meant to be pre-war. It's not a Brotherhood of Steel craft. The Brotherhood just started taking over leftover military technology after the bombs. When he mentions Bakersfield, I feel like this is a shout-out to the Fallout fan project in real life. It's a total conversion mod. I also think that Vault 12 was supposed to be in Bakersfield, and that was the one where they intentionally left the door ajar faulty, and that might explain how he became a ghoul eventually. I think we'll learn more about that this season too, more of his backstory and how he actually turned into a ghoul. Then they jump back forward in time to present day and show you what happened to Vault 32, 33, and 31 after the events of Season 1, and it's mostly business as usual for everybody in Vault 32 and 33. Remember, they redistributed the population to sort of even things out because of the resources that they had left. They're in the middle of a water shortage, so they're having problems. I think this is also set up the idea that they will eventually also have to leave the vaults at a certain point. They also use this to set up the Norm twist for later in the episode because he's still been trapped in Vault 31. Even though they use Reg for a whole bunch of incest jokes here too, snack jokes, maybe they'll have some funny payoff for him later where his good party planning skills will help save their lives at some point this season. They reveal Steph is now the overseer of Vault 32, and remember, she's Vault Tech like Hank was. She came from Vault 31 where Norm is stuck right now. Most of her scenes here are used for comedy, especially with Chet, but that might be a red herring. I think she actually might try to help these people at a certain point. Like, they don't want to make her seem too evil. She's just very, very hardcore. She sets up the Norm and Bud reveal, showing you what happened to them in Vault 31 at the end of Season 1. He's basically been trapped there almost at the point of starvation. Then eventually choosing to thaw all the Vault Tech employees out of cryo and using them to escape. Then we go back to Lucy and the Ghoul. I think the reason why they had this whole flea suit joke is just to set up the idea that her missing son was the person who Hank took and used the mind control chip on later in the episode. Also, she is really going to regret eating that flea soup pretty soon. When they make it to the Starlight Drive, that's also a big location in the game. They use it for more Cooper Ghoul references too, because one of his movies having been shown there. Also because Lucy still doesn't know that he is Cooper. Like, she probably knows about Cooper's movies because he was a big movie star, but she doesn't know that the Ghoul is Cooper. The other movie, A Man and His Dog, is also a movie in real life, but it's also a reference to dog meat in the Ghoul in the context of the TV show and the games. The spaceship also feels like a sly wink at the Zaytans from the games too. I don't know if they're ever going to do Zaytans on the TV show. You can let me know if you think they will in the comments. They also use this as the entrance to Vault 24, which is also from the New Vegas game. The vault itself is from the game. They flash back again to Cooper meeting with Kate. The commie game that Janie is playing is a Cold War reference, also to set up the idea of the commies that they find in Bunker 24 who aren't really commies. They're actually Americans that were mind-controlled into commies. Also meant to be a callback to the real-life communist Red Scare in America back in the day. Cooper learns that Kate wants him to basically use his contacts in his wife to get in proximity to Mr. House and kill him before he can set off the bombs.
Not spy on him.
You want me
Your
to?
wife is going to Vegas next week.
But probably the bigger WTF twist here, the bigger reveal, is that in present day, as a ghoul, he probably blames himself for the bombs going off in the first place because he had the opportunity to kill Mr. House, as far as we know, and wasn't able to complete the job. Something happened that prevented him from doing it, and presumably we'll see what that is this season in the flashbacks when he goes to actually meet Mr. House in New Vegas. You do actually interact with Mr. House during the Fallout New Vegas game, but it seems like the way the trailers for the series have been pitching him is that he is an absolute technological and verbal wizard, so it sounds like he does something to talk Cooper out of killing him. Because in a lot of the trailers, he point blank tells him that, "You came here to kill me, Mr. Cooper." You can let me know what you think it is Mr. House does that stops Cooper dead in his tracks from actually completing the job and killing him. There's another reference to the fusion tech because Vault Tech is basically bringing that to New Vegas to him, setting up flashbacks that we'll probably get either in Episode 2 or Episode 3. When he goes home, there's another big Easter egg on the radio. It mentions West Tech's biological products revolutionizing skincare, which I think is meant to be set up for the forced evolutionary virus and super mutants, which we'll see this season. I think we'll see super mutants this season. Back in present day, the Ghoul references the commercials he did as Cooper for Vault Tech in the past, saying that he spent a lot of time going into different vaults. Also in present day, post-apocalypse, he's visited more vaults searching for his family. When they reference Vault 4 being a best-case scenario that we visited during Season 1, this is to set up Mr. House's research in the mind control chips and other bigger experiments, more crazy experiments on people in other vaults, like the FEV, super mutants, many WTF things happening in the other vaults. Then part of the idea with the Soviets here is that Mr. House used the mind control chips to turn Americans into Soviet insurgents, probably to make it look like the Soviets dropped the bombs and started the Great War as a misdirect because it was him. He was the guy that started the Great War. They go back to Vault 33 for more jokes, I think mostly to ease the tension. Like, they use this mostly for comedy with a lot of the Game of Thrones twincest jokes, like, we're gonna make it okay in Vault 33, aren't we? They did a lot of these twincest jokes during Season 1 just because the limited breeding pool that they have with these vaults. Everyone was at least a little bit related, like a lot of first cousins getting together. When we go back to Vault 24, they use the sugar bombs because Lucy's father was leaving them for her because they were her favorite, and it's his pet name for her, Sugar Bomb, and at a certain point, he knew that she would come here in Vault 24 looking for him. RIP to this guy here, that woman's son who sold the flea soup. Also, to further set up the idea that Hank then took the mind control chips, here the technology, and back to the vault under New Vegas to continue research on it. Then they use the last part of the episode to explain what happened to Hank after he left Vault 24. He went the rest of the way to New Vegas, so he's under the city in this special vault here, in this Just the Vault Tech office, steps back into his daily routine. So this is meant to be what his daily life was like when he was working for Vault Tech before the bombs dropped. Love the joke about him having 6 billion unread messages just because he hadn't logged into this particular Vault Tech system since the bombs dropped. Like he didn't have access to it in Vault 33. But the idea here is that Vault Tech had this underground office built because they planned to use it as one of their bases of operations controlling the world post-apocalypse. Like they were basically just rebuilding their company but underground post-apocalypse. This is also why nobody else is living down here. Like they make it seem like nobody has visited this place after the bombs dropped. Also why he says Vault Tech doesn't know much of anything, because most of Vault Tech died off during the Great War, during different reasons. I also think that some of his speech to Mr. House at the end, the message that he leaves, implies that he doesn't really care about Vault Tech employees in general. Like he doesn't care if they survive. Like, they're all off there somewhere. Some of them died. Most of them died. Who cares? He's too busy trying to lock down this program so he can get the promotion.
Then we can finally talk about my promotion.
The global comms room is exactly what it sounds like. He uses it to contact Mr. House, assuming that he's still alive, the teaser being that he probably is, but like I said, it's probably his consciousness uploaded into his machines. But I do love the twist here where they make it seem like he's been serving him since before the Great War. Like this whole time he's just been sucking up to him to try and get a better job, get a promotion from Mr. House. The reason why he did all these terrible things. Because they're doing so many flashbacks in New Vegas for Mr. House purposes, just to explain his character before the Great War and the bombs and Cooper's history with him, they also might do some more Hank flashbacks like they did during Season 1 to explain his connection to Cooper. Remember, back in the day, he was actually a fanboy of Cooper's as a movie star, like he just loved his movies, and it's why he remembered him in present day as a ghoul, like, oh, you're that guy. They can use more flashbacks for him to explain at what point in the past he was working for Mr. House, trying to suck up to him, and what he was doing inside Vault Tech to try and ensure his future working for Mr. House, like ensure his ascension after the apocalypse under Mr. House. But based on a lot of the early trailer footage, it just seems like he's going to be spending most of his time in this facility, in this particular bunker, working on this project, and eventually Lucy will get her reunion with him, and she'll see what he's been doing, like she'll be horrified by this. And the bigger reason for all this, for this whole arc, their family arc, is to test her morality. Like, at what point is someone beyond saving, and when should you kill them? What irredeemable things are they going to make Hank do this season that will really, really make her want to kill him finally? Will she actually be able to do that, or will it cause some horrible consequences? I think that's also meant to be a parallel for Cooper's arc in not being able to kill Mr. House when he had the chance. Like, that's why he's mad at Lucy for not killing people when she has the chance. Then they use the end credits to basically give you a tour of the New Vegas city, like this is all New Vegas. The Lucky 38 casino is Mr. House's casino. We'll probably go there in episode 2, both in the flashbacks and in present day. Everybody post all your reactions in the comments below, and if there's any Easter eggs or references that you spotted that I didn't talk about in the video, just write them below in the comments. My full episode 2 video will post next week after they release it. If they release a trailer for episode 2 or future episodes, I might do videos for those too week to week, so we'll see. This basically means that they're giving you episode 2 for Christmas, even though it's not Christmas in the actual episode itself. What I'll do for the giveaway is I'll just leave it open for the entire season, and I'll just name winners every couple of episode videos until I run through all the swag that I have to give away. When I pick people, I will reply specifically to get your contact information on your comments on the videos themselves, and it will be me, so look for the check mark. YouTube has had a lot of problems with spammers trying to get people's contact information. I will have the check mark next to my name. It'll look like this. Make sure you know it's me before you respond and give somebody your contact info. And when I'm picking giveaway winners, I will specifically say that in my reply. If I don't talk about giveaway stuff in the replies, it's just a regular reply. I try to reply to comments as much as possible, so there'll be a lot of just like regular comments week to week. There's also supposed to be some crazy Marvel Avengers Doomsday trailer nonsense going on this week. They might leak out. If they leak out, I will do videos for whatever winds up getting released, so be sure to enable alerts for my channel so you don't miss any of that stuff. Everybody click here for all my Fallout episodes, and click here for all those crazy Avengers Doomsday trailers and whatever else leaks out from Marvel. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.